First, I must indicate up front. This meeting will be flighted on YouTube, on Facebook. So those are the platforms that this meeting will be covered. With that said, I want to quickly take you through the agenda that is going to guide this meeting to the end. I'm doing so just to confirm that the agenda you have is the same agenda that I will be using. The first item will be opening and welcome, which will be done by the chair of the portfolio committee on CoGHSTA, Honorable Temps. Second item will be roll call and apologies. Third item will be adoption of the agenda. The fourth item will be the minutes of the previous meeting, the meeting of the 26th of November 2025, which was held here. And then 4.1 will be matters arising. Item 5 will be business of the day. 5.1 will be the presentation on SPLUMA by the Royal House. Sixth item will be deliberations, if any, both by members of the portfolio committee on CoGHSTA as well as the royal leadership. Seventh item will be way forward, and of course, it will the way forward will be around the schedule of meetings. And I think the last meeting you will recall, we agreed on regular interactions, and I think this item speaks to that. Eighth item will be announcements. Ninth item will be the closing remarks. And I get a sense that this is the same agenda that you have. Any confirmation? So I know that you are and the agenda is also flighted there on this. Before I ask Honorable Furu to give us opening remarks, you know that we have lost two traditional leaders in the province in the recent past. One being Cecil Maja, who no longer walk the solid head, who ceased to breathe. And the second one is OC Dr. Mwamitwa Wabumbi, was Chagasabanui in Mufan. I don't know the protocols, chair of the house, whether I can risk asking the house to rise so we observe the moment of silence. If I'm permitted, I can then ask that to rise and observe the moment of silence in honor and respect of the two traditional leaders who led their communities with commitment, dedication, and we must continue to draw some lessons from their exemplary leadership. In their differentiated manner and leadership, they have demonstrated. I think most of you would know that Dr. Mwamitwa was the first female leader in that family, and having fought even up to the Constitutional Court. You know the Constitutional Court judgment to that effect. That demonstrates the level of leadership. May their souls rest in eternal peace. Thank you very much. May I then ask the Honorable School to quickly welcome us in this meeting. Honorable.
Thank you, Chair.
Okay.
Can I request a 10-minute break so that I could get a presentation from my secretary?
Oh. How many minutes?
10 minutes will do.
10.
Yeah.
No, but we'll proceed.
Is it?
We will proceed.
Okay.
It's only him and me.
Oh, there.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. No, thank you very much. They will join us. They are just doing some housekeeping as the meeting will be. Honorable.
Thank you, Honorable Chair Goben. I would like to welcome both honorable members and the royal leadership to this important session. Compliments of the new season. We are beginning the year with a bang, in the sense that early in the year we are meeting with the royal leadership. I would want to reiterate that this portfolio committee takes the royal leadership in high regard. In the last meeting, you raised a number of issues, important issues for that matter, that need our attention. We have noted that, but we thought it prudent that we meet today, and after this meeting, then we begin to run with the issues that you have raised. So when you are raising issues, don't spare any effort to hit the nail on the head, because it is in our interest, all of us, to have a grasp of the issues that are buffeting royal leadership, so that together we can try and address such in a manner that would take us far. With these words, Honorable Chair, let me pause.
Thank you very much, Honorable School, for the warm welcome. I'm sure we are now free to engage in this meeting. So I see the agenda has been confirmed, and I will not waste time on that. And the roll call is circulating. I can only encourage participants in this meeting to attend your signatures as a confirmation of your attendance. I will now give the committee coordinator to take us through the minutes. I'm not sure if minutes have been circulated also to the House.
I'm not so sure, but as far as we're concerned, we have been received. Yeah. But it's not a transmission. We were here, so we know what is. So
Okay. Maybe may I first check if there are apologies. I only dealt with the attendance register. Can I check if there are? any apologies for purposes of recording?
Yes. Thank you, Honorable Chair, honorable members and the traditional leaders and my colleagues. We have got apologies in the name of the following honorable members. Honorable Matabuka SM, Honorable Mapolo ML, and Honorable Wilson ER. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. On the part of the House,
Thank you, Chair. It will be apologies. It was supposed to be done by the Secretary, but I'm taking it up because I want to factor in a certain arrangement so that it is well recorded. The invitation that we got, which we followed it up to get a clarity, is inviting the executive of the House of Traditional Leaders. And the executive of the House of Traditional Leaders is composed of 5 members. But we are more than 5 here today, as it was before. The 2 honorable royalty that they've asked to be excused, who are coming back now, they are not members of the executive, but they are part of the working committee on SPLOMA representing royal leaders. So we felt it would be important that we bring them in so that because the subject item that we are going to deal with has been, we have requested amongst many them, I think there are about 11 of them across the province, to look into this thing on behalf of the whole institution. So we felt we need to bring them in so that if there are some arrangements going forward, they are part of that. But in terms of the apology, we have got an apology from Koshi Liboko. Koshi Kiwi is not with us here. I'm not sure, Mr. Nechanje, if he's coming or he's not coming at all.
There's no indication.
Yeah, sometimes the card doesn't indicate itself when it tells you. You have to switch that knob so that it can indicate. You should find out so that you can get the indication whether it's coming or not, if he's telling. But nevertheless, Chair, that's the situation. So if he would be coming to join, it would mean it will be arriving late. If he's not, then it means he's not. And I'm not sure if that serves as an apology, but ordinarily, apology, it is followed by someone who's apologizing to say, I'm apologizing not to be attending. So it will be very risky for me to say I'm tendering his apology when he did not apologize. So, but the fact of the matter is not here.
no, thank you very much, Chair. The House, this is how we must deal with those meetings. We know why we met on the 26th. You recall that the meeting was precipitated by a meeting at Meropa, and there was a need for subsequent meetings so that the committee and the House begin engagements on a number of issues. So I would appreciate if you can just proceed to point number 6, which deals with the issues that were raised by the House through the mouth of its chairperson, and then going forward. And then we take a discussion from there. If all is in order, if you take point 6 on the minutes, can you proceed to conclusions? Because that's what issues are. The rest is just the purpose why we're meeting and all of that. But 6 and 7, that's where you then find the important issues. So if you can quickly traverse those 2, and then we'll take a discussion. Committee coordinator.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Item 6 read as follows. It was a response by Royals. The chairperson of Limpopo House of Traditional and Khoisan Leadership, in the name of OCP Singowe, appreciated the opportunity to meet with the portfolio committee and outlined the frustrations experienced by the House. The House is treated as an appendage of the department, whereas it is a legislative body. He clarified the department didn't need to attend the meeting because they are at an advanced stage with the Splum bill. He mentions the following to augment his inputs. The Premier did not honor the House's request to debate her speech on the opening of the House of Traditional and Khoisan Leadership. Second bullet, the House does not have offices for its administration operations. In contrast, there is no dedicated budget to secure preferred venues for sittings and meetings. Consequently, the department dictates meeting locations without providing adequate resources. The third bullet, the House currently does not have its own legal experts to advise and support on legal issues. And the last bullet, the House requests to convene a meeting before the legislative recess. And with regards to Limpopo Spatial and Land Use Management Bill, it was indicated that the Limpopo House of Traditional and Khoisan Leadership had already undertaken a thorough review of the bill in consultation with legal advisors and will now embark on an internal process to brief their members and solicit inputs before the bill is subjected to the normal legislative consultation process with other stakeholders. I thank you, Chair.
Proceed to number 7.
Number 7, the following were concerns and inputs as raised by members. An earlier date should be sought for a meeting be held with the House to present the Splum bill, which is today. A proposal to include the House of Traditional Leadership in the legislature's annual calendar to enable scheduled meetings with the portfolio committee. They will highlight it there. Yeah, that's it. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much for that presentation. It actually took us into what was discussed in the main on the 26th of November 2025. I will then proceed to matters arising from those minutes. And I just take if anyone want to take a bite on matters that arises out of this meeting. Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Probably it might not necessarily be the matters arising, but just correction or on the minutes. I know that it's not a verbatim recorded minutes, but if it might tend to mean a different thing, we will have to find a way of correcting it, especially for the third parties who were not part of the meeting and who are not part of this meeting. If this record is read by the third somebody, it should capture what we are in. If we can go back to the first one that regarding the department not wanted or something like that. The chairperson, Limpopo Khoisan, also appreciated the meeting. The House is treated as an appendage of the department, whereas it is a legislative body. We clarify that the department did not need to attend. I think that we need to put that into context because if you remember, there were officials from CoGHSTA and officials from Premier's office who were invited to the meeting. And that's how that comments comes in to say, look, we don't think they would be relevant for the meeting of that nature that we held, because as a royal leaders through the House, we have already done our work we are ready to present our case, because their role was more to facilitate that process, which they did not at the time that they're supposed to have done. So I don't know how we can find a way of fine-tuning it, because the way it looks, it might mean a different thing altogether. So, but that was the spirit behind that, to say their presence will not add any value now, because they should have at least done that work before. And at any rate, they did make a presentation to the House as the Premier's office and as CoGHSTA, and we've moved on, and now we are at the point where we are ready to make a presentation. So that was the spirit of that sentence. So English is not my first language, but the way it is, someone might think that we were chasing them away. Kind of. The tone is not reflective of the spirit in which that sentence was. So that can be fixed at a later stage.
No, thanks, Chair. In fact, I'm also thinking, what would be the implications if that sentence is moved? Because
it will have no implication to my view.
definitely, because we are becoming the subject of a discussion while they are not supposed to. In fact, it was even a decision of the meeting that they should not be part of that meeting, precisely because of the misunderstanding that was there when doing invitation. I would suggest that we just take it out. It was insignificant in that part that's been supported.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. And again,
I would think that removing that sentence wouldn't kill any flag, because the sentence itself in the context of the meeting is insignificant.
and again, Chair, on the sentence before that one, the one that is talking about an appendage, I think if you read it the way it is, it sounds like a complaint and it ends there. But it was a complaint, but which we suggested that we think we need to have a meeting. We requested the chair, through the chair of the meeting, to say we think we need to have a meeting, whether with the MEC or with whoever, and us and yourself, to clarify this, because it is very important. Because if it's not clarified, it keeps on perpetuating a wrong misunderstanding in terms of the House. Because we're saying we don't have a dispute when it comes to traditional affairs as a department. It's fine. It's a structure of the department. But the problem is when you include the House in there, because as soon as you include the House in there, it means the House must now report to a director, to a chief director, to a DDG, to an HO, which is not. It's not at all. But it seems we have raised this thing with the department many a times, but it seems like there's a misunderstanding. The fact that they are even seconding our staff, all of our staff. We have never said as a House, I'm talking about the Provincial House of Traditional Leaders, we have never said in a single day and say there is a vacancy, let's send out an invite for people to apply, let's interview them. You know, everything is being forwarded, and normally they also send, they always send staff that are redundant in their organogram. Then the next stop is the House, which is not responding to the need of the House. So that concern that we raised, we requested that we will respectfully request the Honorable Committee to facilitate a meeting of some kind with the MEC and his team, with us and yourself, to clarify what is this thing called the House in terms of the law. So the way it is complaint is done, there's no follow-up, there will not be a follow-up. So maybe we will need to expatiate on it, to say we have requested an urgent meeting that can be facilitated, because we have tried ourselves to engage with the MEC, and we don't seem to be finding each other in that. And there are no reasons that, and if we are wrong, we will be very much happy to accept that, no, our interpretation is wrong. Actually, the House, it's a sub-directorate of the department in terms of the law, and this is the law which we are referring to. But we are saying no, we are not. The fact that when we take an office, we take an oath of office, we can't be treated like officials. We are not officials. We're a public office bearers at our own right. So if we're wrong, someone must convince us. It must not be just because we don't have a budget, and then the fact that somebody is giving us a budget, therefore that gives that person, a big brother kind of an attitude. It must be within the law. So we requested the department, the honorable committee, to facilitate that kind of an engagement.
No, thanks, Chair. In fact, there were just two issues that were raised. One was the review of the location of the house, which of course will arise out of that study. In fact, we're even speaking about the premium. And for the department itself, just to get that, I hope our team will expand on that. Any other thing?
If you can go down where you talk about the legal advisors, where we said we have consulted legal advisors, I think it needs to be put in context as well. It's a pity we didn't have these minutes before, but there's somewhere where the minutes are saying we have consulted legal advisors regarding the SPLUMA input.
I think it's a paragraph before we forward. The paragraph, that one that starts with glass, yeah. Can you take it a little bit up? Yeah. Up, yeah. That's the paragraph. I think it's first sentence. It's long.
You start with.
Yes.
With regards to Limpopo spatial and land use, you can go to the third line. Already undertaking a thorough review of the bill conducted with legal advisors. Is it the one?
Yes, yeah, that's the one. Being government, let me put it that way. Being government, the moment you're saying a thorough review of the bill in consultation with the legal advisors, it might unavoidably mean that we are meaning the government legal advisors, which is not. What we said there, we said we had to make some improvisation for ourselves. Amongst our own traditional royal leaders, we do have qualified lawyers, which we have roped in, and is that committee that I was referring to, which we have roped in to assist us. So it was our own internal arrangement, kind of. So it is not necessarily legal advisors, because if you put it that way, someone might think that we have sourced out or we have gone out and looked for a professional legal advisors to assist, which is not true. The fact of the matter is we have said amongst ourselves, because we don't have legal services to advise us, we had to rely on amongst our own royal leaders too. So, yeah.
I think it's loud and clear, Chair. I think our team will make those corrections. So, is there any other matter that arises out of the minutes? The members in the House, in a sense that we are now at one, that we can move for the adoption of the minutes, of course, with the corrections that are being made.
Thanks, Chair. Greetings to yourself, Chair, honorable members present here, the royal leadership. I do move, Chair.
Thank you very much. Any seconder? Okay. No.
Good morning, Chairperson. I second.
Thank you very much. So these minutes have been adopted as a true reflection of what transpired on the 26th of November 2025. Of course, with those important alterations were made. Can I now proceed to item 5 and take a presentation on SPLOMA from the House? Through your chair.
Yes, Chair. I think, again, maybe it's, just getting these minutes now, which is fine, and we've adopted them as a true reflection. But I think on that item of making presentation, the caveat that we made that we said we are ready. Actually, we've been ready by a long time ago. And it is not ready in a sense of we have got a draft that we still have to do consultation with our members in general. We have done that. We have consulted all the local houses of traditional leaders. We have consulted Contralesa. We have consulted Rolesa in this matter. So they have made their input. And the task team that I have referred them earlier, it is reflective of that consultation, because it's not a task team of the provincial house only. It includes all those structures. But we said in that meeting, during that meeting, we said it will be important that the Murupa meeting, that let me use a lousy word now that we have gone past that, the Murupa meeting that collapsed, it was a meeting of all traditional leaders. And it is out of that meeting where we agreed that we need to have a systematic way of consultation, which we have done and which we are doing. And we said, now we are ready. And we said, look, it will be not fair for us to come and present to you those inputs being 5 or 6, and then tomorrow some people will, because we know people are very creative, some of our own people, and when I'm saying people, I mean royal leaders, will start questioning it to say, no, we were not part of that, we did not know. Meanwhile, we have consulted them. We wanted to present in front of them, and it's not a presentation which we are at this point expecting them to make inputs, because they have made inputs, and we have adopted those inputs in a formal setting with all of them. But we wanted to safeguard you, where you will have a roll call to say, these are the inputs of traditional leaders or of royal leaders in Limpopo, and these are the people that were present. So that this matter is closed. And we know that our input does not mean that it will fly. It does not mean that everything will be accepted at the end of the day. But at least we will have made the meaningful consultation process. And you will be saved on that stage. There will be no longer, whatever happened at Murupa will no longer be relevant in future. So that's what we requested. And that's why when we received the invitation for this meeting, I requested the Secretary to say, please verify with the portfolio committee. Is it a meeting to follow up on what? Or is it a meeting where we are going to make those inputs that we have? If that is going to be the meeting, let them remember that we requested that we invite all senior traditional leaders in the province to take the Murupa ship. I think there was a reason why you wanted the Murupa meeting to be like that, because you wanted an ownership of everybody. And ownership of everybody does not mean that everybody agrees on, but it means in a democracy, the majority of the people who will be there will have agreed. And that's what we have committed. So the Secretary came back to me to say, no, it is not about that. It is just a follow-up meeting. Then I said, but follow-up on what? So I thought maybe there will be follow-up on other issues, which I might have forgotten. Then I said, please, can you get the minutes so that you can check which follow-up was? If it's that input from the sector, we have requested that to safeguard you in terms of you qualifying that you have done a meaningful consultation. The only way that you can qualify that is to produce an attendance register, in my view, to say these are the people that we have consulted. You cannot qualify it, even if we can say to you, these inputs are coming from traditional leaders who might be misleading you. Somebody might be meeting with you as a public representative to say, no, whatever they have presented, it is not ours. We were not consulted. They did not consult them. It's an executive thing. So we wanted to move out of that kind of attitude to have an ownership. And we still believe that is the better way for you when you go back to your house to say we have consulted the royal leaders and they have given us an input is this. So when you start interacting, there must be no single senior traditional leader would be saying, I was not part of that. He might not have been part of that because he was absent, which does not make anything anyway, any excuse. But we wanted to safeguard because that process of Moropa, that day of Moropa, we want to bury it for, forever. So that it must never find itself back into our system. And that's what we have done. So even now, Chair, we are extremely ready. Since we met with you here, we have never touched that document because it's done, and we've got a roll call. When did you consult the local house of Vembe? When did you consult the local house of Mopani and so on and so on? When did you consult Contralesa? So even Contralesa will not come to you and say, no, that document that has been submitted is not ours, because Contralesa is part of the task team. Even Rolesa will not come to you at somewhere when you meet with them to say, no, that document does not represent us, because we brought them in as the house to say, let's now have a one voice as royal leaders. Let's not have Contralesa, Rolesa, houses, there is local houses. Let's have one, because this is our document. So they have signed off, but we want to hand it over to you in their presence.
I just wanted to be sure that I'm understanding the house. That arising out of this meeting, we can then have Moropa 2. That's how I understand the Chair. The house is ready. In fact, the things that should have been done preceding Moropa 1 have been cleared. We can then proceed to the voting. And then what then becomes our approach in terms of this discussion? I'm understanding the house also to be saying it can then be a decision of this meeting to say the house is now ready, and anything else that is supposed to be from our side, we can then proceed to do, to then close the matter as it relates to this woman. So my understanding is correct. So I don't know. I think also it's to say that that presentation is not, I don't want to use relevant, but even if that presentation is not made, what we're taking home is the house is ready, consultations were done broadly, and so far as my concern, we can then proceed to have a much broader forum where this thing is going to be closed. Chair, is my understanding?
Thank you, Chair. Actually, your understanding it summarizes everything well. But because we are leaders, Chair, we are leaders, and as long as we have not yet received the vote of no confidence, we will keep to be leaders, including yourselves. We will not want to ambush you, because at the end of the day, we want everything to be done in a fair and a transparent manner, so that we can all, remember we are talking about development of our people. We are not talking about salaries of traditional leaders or salaries of MPLs. We are plumas about development. And these people that we want, these areas, these communities, Chair, that we want to develop, it is the very same community that it is your constituency. So in that spirit, Chair, our understanding is that, I'm sure you might, if you remember what Hoshi Litsiri said during that day, we did not crash everything, or we are not in a courtroom where we are saying we are here to defend. We are here to assist you to see things that you might not necessarily be able to see when you are that side. But the only way to do that is to make input that are based on law and input that are based on developmental. And that's what we have done. So you'll find that in most of the chapters, in most of the paragraphs, in most of the areas, we agree with the Spluma. It's not like Spluma was a monster to us. It was certain areas that we believe it is not developmental in nature. It is not assisting our people to develop as quick as possible, and it's not giving authority to the, to those that are mandated to do so. So, Chair, all what I'm saying is, we will not wait for the Murupa 2, and then during the Murupa 2, we're saying, now we are making a presentation. We will take you into confidence. We will take you into confidence before that meeting to submit our input, but we will present those input during the Murupa 2 as a committee. But it will be a document that we will want you, when you go to there, you will have seen what is it that we are thinking along the line, so that you can apply your mind, unlike when we arrive there and start taking you, on commerce and the like. We will do that. We will take you into confidence in a way that we believe that you are leaders, you have got an interest. But it will be us who will be leading during the Murupa with that document with our members.
So members, it's a bit, for me, tricky. So I can make it simple like I was doing. Because the issue here for today was to receive a presentation. But from the presentation of the House, the sense I'm getting is that we must be able to appreciate that the work has been done. All the hurdles have been removed. We can then prepare for the broader city of senior traditional leadership, where the matters will be then dealt. But the expectation, even when we started the meeting, was going to be implemented. So I just want us to align the two, so that we close the meeting having understood each other where we are.
Chair, let me help you. There's no trick. There's nothing tricky. Let me help you. It's simple. I'm speaking from where I'm coming from. Even the meeting of last time when we came here, we forced ourselves to come here. Our members said, you can't go there without us. You want to go there and sell us out. That is our document. You can't go there and represent and go and present that. So that's why I have made a caveat to say, we won't ambush you. But I don't want us to say, let's make a presentation. But you will get the document. But I don't want us to say, let's make a presentation, because that will be misread by our members to say, oh, now you are calling us, but we have already made the presentation, you have already made your deals there, and the like. Our members are not like your member, Chair. Your member, you are on the same level of understanding processes. Our members, there's a degree of difference. There's 100, there's 0, and they are all equal, but the understanding processes it's a very difficult one. So, but I can guarantee you, Chair, I can take that to your confidence. We will give the committee our presentation, but it can't be in a form of formality now saying we are presenting. It will be blown out of proportion. So please allow me to manage that process, but definitely you will get our presentation before the full sitting as members.
No, thank you very much. In fact, I did understand where you were coming from the other side. So I think now we're at one members in terms of the spirit with which we must close this meeting. May you allow me to step off the item, and the understanding that we have here is the House is more than ready. It will just be us in terms of when, where are we going to then have the developer because all the issues which were bone of contention have been cleared. And I think that's what I understand the House to be saying. In that context, I would want to step off this item with that understanding. Can I then, honorable members in the House?
Maybe, Chair, just to to make life easier for you as well. Because if we leave it hanging like this, it's a commitment that we will give you our submission, which will be discussed, which will be presented officially at the Morupa 2, let me call it that way. But we're not telling you by when will you get that, can you expect that document. Today we are on, before the end of this week.
The commitment from the House is the committee will receive the document on the date to be determined. But that will be highly appreciated. So at least we speak from a point of knowledge. With that said, can I now proceed to item 7? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And maybe let me first check. Isn't it that while we're dealing with the item on presentation, we're also deliberating on how we can be able to move forward. But if there are issues, I can then allow members of the House just to raise on item 6. If there are issues that members or the House feels that you want to raise, you are at liberty to do so. Because I don't want to be seen to be closing people out. You'll be the first Honorable Machete, or Menchi, you'll be the second. Yeah.
No, so thanks very much. I think from the input, it would be suicidal for us if we want to proceed to make comment or further discuss. I think we have crafted the way forward in terms of how things should be done. And that submission suffices for now. And therefore submit that we can proceed to the next item.
No, Chair, I'm covered. I wanted to rise on the same matter as raised by my colleague. To say, now that there is no presentation.
There was a presentation, but there will not be.
There can't be deliberation if there is no presentation. So that is how we should conclude this matter. And then allow the right platform when we'll be expecting the Royal House to favor us with that presentation before the second Merupa meetings. That's how I understand it. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you very much. On the latter note, I was saying there was a presentation, but there will not be a presentation. Yes. And we agreed to the Okay. Can I now proceed to item 7? The presentation of the schedule of...
Maybe on that, Chair. Can we, I don't know how, but because definitely if we were to be honest, this exercise of today will have been avoided. It will have been done, it will have been the Morupa 2 today. So maybe can we escalate our communication, maybe chair to chair when such kind of meeting, so that we can clarify these things, because you'll find that administratively, and it's not a bad thing. You know, this thing of houses is still a problematic for everybody to understand. What does it mean to say it's an executive? What does it mean to be contra lesser? What does it mean to be rolesa? What does it mean to be a house? Some officials, they still don't understand the differences. So this should have been avoided. Should we have known that actually the expectation is to make a presentation today, we will have advised the chair to say, let's call a bigger forum and do the presentation. And that's why I requested this, the secretary to say, please verify, is it the one that we are expected to make a presentation regarding the input of Splume at this meeting? Then when he came back to me to say, no, it is not the one, this one is just for a follow-up. Then I said, no, it's fine. But I will have advised to say, if that is the one, because my understanding, in our last meeting here, we agreed that the next meeting is a bigger forum. It's a bigger meeting where we're going to make presentation. And we said we are ready. So I thought that this meeting, it is going to take that shape of Moroba. But when it was clarified that, no, this one is a follow-up meeting for some other stuff, I said, no, then it's fine. So maybe when we arrange this kind of meetings, let's pitch it a little bit whereby chair to chair can clarify what is the intention of the meeting, and so that we can assist in making sure that we don't lose your intention.
Yes. Chair?
Thank you, Chair. I concur with Mohoshi, the way they put it. Remember, we are not only dealing with the issue of Splume. There are issues that the royal leadership have raised. They need our intervention by way of organizing a meeting with the MEC. We also have the issue of the premiums and so forth. So our constant contact as chairpersons would help agree in taking the issues forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Committee Coordinator, can you take us through the schedule of meetings?
Oh, Chair, before, just to announce that the apology that I was reluctant to make, my ancestors, they were very close to me, they were right. The man, the Koshi has arrived. So imagine if I have said, no, I'm apologizing for Koshi, we will not be here today, and then the next thing arrived. So.
Thank you very much. Okay. And the proposed quarterly meetings, the proposed dates for quarterly meetings will be flighted. You can just take us through the picture.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Since for a follow-up from the previous meeting, it was a proposal that maybe the House and the committee should meet to clarify some issues. And then that's what we did in the program of the legislature. We have inserted those in the program of the legislature, but they are proposals. We are not just giving them to you as is. They are proposals. 13 May, first in the first quarter. Then the second quarter will be in the 26th August. The third quarter will be on the 8th of October. And then the last quarter of the financial year, 2026 and 27, will be on 20 January 2027.
Can it be corrected? The says 20 January 2026.
No, but 27.
Should be 27. Okay. Thank you very much for that presentation. This is the proposed dates for quarterly meetings where the portfolio committee and the House will be intervening on a number of issues of importance.
Yeah, Chair, maybe just to comment in general. If it's possible, we can avoid Wednesdays. I'm not sure from your side which days are very critical. On our side, Wednesdays, we have called what we call the tribal courts. So members are presiding over Mahutla at home, mainly on Wednesdays. So you might find that sometimes it's a problematic, but let's agree on these dates as it is, then we will negotiate if there's anything that around that time. but we are comfortable.
Thank you very much, Chair.
Maybe again, Chair, we can agree on how do we sponsor items. At what point do we sponsor item for the next meeting? Because we don't want to come to the meeting, then we look at each other and say, by the way, today, what can we discuss? So we will end up looking for things that are not important, because sometimes it will be important to forward issues to say, these are the issues that we think we can discuss in that meeting, so that the chair can decide whether these issues are urgent or not. You know, some of the things you might find that, because now we have started with this working relationship, they will just by its own way fall away from the main part. So I'm just asking Chair to say, how do we sponsor issues for the meeting, before the meeting?
You want to help me?
Yeah, no, thanks, Chair. I'm of the view that the constant interaction by the chairs would do us a favor, such that they'll be able to exchange issues, and that will be able to indicate whether the meeting is necessary or not. If they could keep in touch, that would assist us a lot.
No, thanks very much. I think first thing is to accept that the proposed dates are flexible in their character, because it might not be from the side of the royal leaders that they may also have commitments on the dates. We may also have from our side as well. And so that will require an understanding that that part of engagement between the chairs will then be able to assist in terms of making a determination. Part of it being how do we then deal with the issues that needs to be sponsored for that meeting. Thanks, Chair.
No, thanks, Chairperson. I think out of what the Chairperson of the Royal House has just presented, there is one critical matter that needed to be properly, managed. That is communication. It's very critical that we improve communication. Our Service Portfolio Committee, led by our Chairperson and the Royal House, there should be constant communication. And that communication should not be activated only towards the meeting. Throughout, they must be able to communicate and also to agree on the issues that should be included on the agenda in terms of those proposed quarterly meetings. So I think that's the area where we are leaking. If we can improve communication, and it also includes one critical matter that we just raised in our last meeting, that we need to reset our relationship with the House of Traditional Leaders, that's the Portfolio Committee. So that relationship should be there every time. We must be able to communicate, and in those meetings, I should understand that there will be issues that will be ventilated, and they will agree as the Portfolio Committee and the Royal. Communication, Chairperson, if we could agree from this meeting to say, from today, that's the area that we have been leading, and it will be improved. Our Chairperson and the Chairperson of Traditional Leaders, they must always communicate. So don't assist us. If you check, Chairperson, this meeting was supposed to have convened end of last year. I've even checked on the minutes, but it was delayed until today. It's very late. So many things have happened on the way. So we must not be seen to be, we must be proactive instead of reactive. We must be proactive. coordination is very critical, Chairperson.
Okay. Yeah. You are raising your hand.
Yeah, I'm raising a hand.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. This is very good in terms of how we intend taking things forward. But I would prefer that from our side, we draft terms of engagements with the portfolio committee, as well as outlining critical issues and prioritizing them or categorizing them in terms of implementability, so that we know we are working on this period to achieve all these 4 or 5 low-hanging fruits, and then in the coming 6 months, this is what we intend to achieve, so that we have a follow-up and a measurement as to how are we progressing in terms of addressing those issues. So we need to have such a document that outlines our terms of engagement. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we're clear where we are. Firstly, there is an understanding that we are adopting the basis as a framework of meetings between the committee and the House. But two, also that we agree that there has to be, and I think the chair of the House earlier proposed that over and above the interaction between officials, it will also be very important for the chair to have a chair-to-chair engagement at that level in terms of what to prioritize, what to do, the approach and so on. And I think we can take the same approach, even in terms of how items get sponsored, so that when we meet in a forum like this, we discuss what we're supposed to discuss. Is it a fair way of closing the item?
Yeah.
So that's not the end of the meeting. I will take an announcement, and then I will ask the chair of the House to then give us a closing remarks on behalf of all of us as we closing the meeting. Announcements?
Thank you, Chair. Unfortunately, we have also prepared lunch that will come at 12, and then it's still 5 minutes. But lunch will be served at 12 o'clock. Thank you.
So this meeting was fast. Okay. Chair, I'm handing it to you just to give the closing remarks.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you to all honorable members of our portfolio committee and to my leaders here. Chair, when we met here last time in this venue, Sploma was one of the items, but we raised a lot of other items outside Sploma relating to our existence and relating to our survival and relating to our performance as the House, which we were in a way crying over to you as a committee, that we believed one of your oversight responsibilities is to make sure that all the functionaries within your mandate perform to the optimum. And we are here now to announce, Chair, that we don't know whether it is through your intervention as the portfolio committee, because we did not only cry over to you about some of the issues, we cried to other forums and to other individuals in as far as the relationship is concerned between the House and the traditional and the royal leaders in general with the political office bearers responsible for us, be it the MEC and the Premier, and you might have seen even in the minutes that it came out that some of the mandatory tasks that were expected to be performed even by the Premier were not performed at the time. I'm saying this because we can't just come in here, raise issues, and when things are improving or not improving, and then we keep quiet and we wait for another 10 to come and raise issues. So we just want to announce, Chair, that the meeting that was long overdue did take place in December with the Premier and all senior traditional leaders in the province. So whether it is through your intervention or it's through other we don't know, but that meeting took place. And to us, we are working on, it's a work on progress. We will see whether the discussion of that meetings will take us to where we want to go. But that meeting did took place, and there was a pledge from both the Premier and the MEC and the royal leaders to work together going forward. And there was also an acknowledgement that things did not go as it's supposed to have gone, and there will be improvements. So we are announcing that because it's important that you know. We don't only tell you the death.
I almost clapped hands.
You know, we don't have to only tell you when there's a death in the family. Even when there's a newborn, we must tell you that there's a newborn in the family. So and we're not announcing anything, but we're just announcing that milestone, because to us it's a milestone because we felt it was not necessary to have that tension. And we hope whatever was discussed there will be taken forward. Secondly, Chair, and you see, when you are given a mandate to lead, you don't go every day and go and ask, what must I say today, because I belongs to you. You must be creative. And all what I'm saying, I might not have a resolution, but I am saying it because I believe it's the right thing to say. What I want to say, Chair, is that we feel we are underutilized. And not by you, and not by the Premier, not by the MEC, but we feel we are underutilized by this government as an institution, because I think there's a lot that our people can benefit if we work together. And we might not want to have a holistic kind of working together, but the law forced us as the House and yourself to work together. And we can guarantee you, Chair, that we will make your life easy. On basic things, you know, things like public participation. We know that sometimes you go out there, you are taking a bill or a policy document that you want people to participate, especially this sector, and you find that people are not participating, people are not making inputs and the like. And it is because there was that gap. If we can close it up, I can tell you, you will benefit out of that exercise. And we will benefit as well, because the more we get more information from you, is the more we become relevant to our people, because we are now able to call our constituents to say there is this thing that is coming up from the portfolio committee. As a constituency, can we come together and have a common understanding like we are doing now? So all what we are saying, Chair, we are pleading for a good working relationship, because it is not personal. And we know we do have our own weaknesses as individuals, but forget about us as individuals. As much as we're forgetting about you as individuals, look at us as an institution, and we'll look at you as an institution. And when there are individuals amongst ourselves, amongst yourself, that must not dominate our program and our commitment. We are not perfect, but we are saying we are perfect in identifying the common cause, and the common cause is our people. That one we are sure that we have got the same way of looking into it, and we are saying if we can be capacitated, and capacitating we don't mean money, but we mean information. If we can have right information at the right time, if we can have right support staff that have got capacity to assist us, we will be able to support this program, because at the end of the day, it's our people. If you look, for example, what happened now, the issue of disaster. The president has declared disaster in Limpopo, but we know that that disaster is not in Polokwane. That disaster is not in Luwaho. That disaster is not in Giyani Township. That disaster is not in Malamule Township. It's in the rural areas. So there is no way that, if we can ignore that part, that our people are the most affected when it comes to developmental issues. So that's why you find us, we are pleading with you to say, this Pluma can be one thing, but we know, even when it comes to developmental opportunities, we are so jealous that we don't see these developmental opportunities, not necessarily coming from your portfolio, but from other departments, going around and spread around across. We know that some of these developmental opportunities, they only know one route. They only go to Osingove because it's the chair of the house. And that is wrong. So it is all these things, Chair, that we were saying there is a lot that we can talk. The Pluma will come and go, but there is a lot in terms of developmental opportunities that we need to make sure that the life of our people changes. And we are saying we are the right partners to be part of that. Lastly, Chair, we are requesting, that's why we don't care about the 11 lunch story. We are requesting for a venue to have our executive committee meeting. It won't take an hour. We just want to process some of the things, including the issues of the funerals that you have announced now. We just want to take advantage that we are here just to process some of the things. So if we can get a smaller venue, it won't take 30 minutes for sure.
You can use this. You will just have to switch off your things. Yeah. No, thank you very much. I think the meeting stand adjourned.